My name is Javier Hernandez and my nickname is Chicharito.
Alright guys, Dominic here for KitGuru, and today we are checking out the Edifier Neobuds Pro wireless earphones. So these are launching today on Indiegogo for $99 and Edifier claims they are actually the industry's first high-res certified TWS earphones, narrowly beating out Sony's WF-1000XM4s to that title. Diving right into it with the unboxing experience then, the Neobuds Pro ship in a compact square box. The top of the box actually lifts up to reveal the earphone's case sitting in a foam insert, but there is also a drawer at the bottom of the box, and inside here we can find a short USB-A to USB-C charging cable, there's a quick start guide, and we also get 2 pairs of replacement ear tips. These are very standard silicone ear tips, and by default the medium size comes installed on the Neobuds Pro, though you do have a small and large size spare in that box. Personally, I would have liked to see a bit more variety here with some foam tips included as well, but considering the price point and the fact that the Neobuds Pro do use a standard circular nozzle, I don't think it should be a problem to find third-party ear tips that will fit the Neobuds Pro. Moving on to talk about the case itself now, this is mostly made from black plastic, though there is a small brush metal piece that sits on the top of the case. Honestly, it doesn't feel super well built, especially that hinge at the back. There is definitely some wobble going on there. That being said, unless you're really yanking it and you're being really rough with it, I wouldn't expect this to break during everyday use, so overall I can't really complain. It just doesn't feel that solid in the hand. We can also see the USB-C port round the back for charging, and on the front of the case there is also a red LED indicator light which will give you information about charging status, Bluetooth pairing and so on. As for the earbuds themselves, we can clearly see Edifier is using a STEM style design with more black and silver styling to match the charging case. They are ergonomically designed to fit in each ear, and we can also note a few of the microphone grills which are visible on the stem itself. So in terms of fit, I have to say I had absolutely no problems with the Neobuds Pro, and I stuck using the default medium-sized silicone tips. The stem of the earphones does protrude a little bit out from my ear and goes down to the bottom of my earlobe, so these probably aren't ideal for sleeping in, but other than that I really had no issues with comfort at all. There were no pressure points building up inside my ears for instance, and honestly they were really comfortable to use. As I first took them out of the case as well, my sample immediately entered into the Bluetooth pairing mode, and then I could just select them within my phone's Bluetooth menu. However, if you need to manually set up pairing, you just press and hold this small button inside the charging case for 3 seconds, and then you will see the front LED indicator light starts flashing from left to right. It's also worth saying that only one device can connect to the Neobuds Pro at a time, so if you are going to be switching between devices, you will have to manually disconnect and reconnect the earphones. There are also a few on-ear controls, such as double tapping the left bud to change your noise cancelling mode, or triple tapping the right bud if you want to skip a track, but these are thankfully customizable within the phone's app, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, I am king.
Coming to the audio now though, we've already mentioned the fact that the Neobuds Pro are high-res certified, and that is thanks to the use of the LHDC codec, so audio is supported up to 24-bit 96 kHz, though you can also use the AAC and SBC codecs if your phone or listening device doesn't support LHDC. Speaking for myself, I did all of my testing with the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, and I simply had to choose the HWA option within the Bluetooth settings. You can also go into the Android developer options, and there you can have control over the audio's bitrate, the sample rate, and also the overall audio quality up to 900 kilobytes a second. Clearly then, high-res audio is a key selling point for Edifier and the Neobuds Pro, but in all honesty, I'm not sure if you'd be able to tell the difference between listening with LHDC and the AAC codec. I did all of my testing using Amazon's high-res Ultra HD files, and I really wasn't able to consistently tell the difference between the different codecs when switching back and forth. I also noticed a few audio dropouts when using the highest transfer setting, so in the end I ended up using that on the adaptive setting for best results. It is definitely a good thing to have the high res support, as objectively you are getting a higher quality audio output. But with the Neobuds Pro, I think the listening experience is going to be more limited by the quality of the drivers and their tuning. Speaking of drivers, Edifier is using a hybrid approach here. So that means we've got one Knowles balanced armature driver acting as a tweeter, and then a 10mm dynamic driver as well. Edifier is keen to stress though, it's using bi-amping with a DSP based active crossover. So that means the balanced armature should only be responsible for the high end, the treble frequencies, while the dynamic driver should only be responsible for the bass and mid frequencies. To put it into subjective terms then, I really do think the audio quality is good for the money. It's quite a bassy overall sound, but still with plenty of detail in the high end, so overall I definitely class this as a V-shaped sound signature. In fact, my first impression of these earphones was actually that the treble region was particularly crisp and clear for a pair of Bluetooth earphones at this price point, without being fatiguing at all. The bass is the most dominant aspect of the mix though, and here personally I would have liked it to be tweaked slightly, as for me it was just a little bit too overbearing and it could muddy up the sound slightly. Now this is being somewhat picky, and I'm aware we don't want to hold these earphones to unattainable standards considering their price point. For everyday casual listeners, I do think they would be absolutely fine, but speaking personally, I would have liked to dial that bass back just a little bit to give the overall sound a little bit more balance. Still, I did find the Neobuds Pro very enjoyable to listen to, and if you're keen on podcasts as well like I am, voices came through crystal clear, so I've absolutely no complaints there. It really is just a slight tweak to the bass that I think would have elevated these to the next level. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that using an equalizer within the Edifier Connect app either. On the homepage of the app then, you're greeted by a small graphic displaying the battery percentages for each individual earbud as well as the case, which I do quite like. The rest of the settings though open up on a separate page, and there's not a whole lot here. You can adjust what tapping each of the earbuds does, as we mentioned earlier, while there's also options to turn the earphones off and reset them to factory settings. Back to the homepage of the app though, and here we can also find a few different noise cancellation settings. So you have a choice between the high and low noise cancelling options, but there is also an ambient sound option which will feed the sound of the environment through the earphones, microphones and into your ears, so you can quickly hear what's going on around you without removing the earphones. On the topic of the ANC though, I have to say I honestly was quite impressed here. I took the Neobuds Pro on the London Underground a couple of times, obviously wasn't able to take these on a plane, but I was still able to block out most of the sound around me, and that's especially the case when you're actually playing music. The kind of low rumble of the tube itself was almost entirely eliminated. As these are in-ears though, you're not going to completely block as much sound as a high quality pair of over-ear headphones, but really for the price I have to say I have been impressed with the noise cancellation. And Edifier also says its triple mic setup is specifically designed to help reduce wind noise, and while I wouldn't say it made much of a difference compared to other ANC earphones I've tried in the past, wind noise again certainly wasn't an issue for me. Overall microphone quality however is definitely a less impressive area for the Neobuds Pro, so instead of me telling you how it sounds, I'm just going to play a quick sound test and let you guys decide for yourselves. So this is now a recording from the Edifier Neobuds Pro microphones. I have to be completely honest, they really don't sound that good, so I wouldn't want to make too many phone calls using these, or hop on Zoom calls using these earphones. They are passable, they will get the job done, you can still hear what I'm saying, it's just not that clear, not that crisp, and does sound slightly muffled or distorted. The last area to touch on then is going to be battery life. Here, Edifier claims you should get 5 hours from the earphones when using noise cancellation, though this will increase to 6 hours if you're not using ANC, and you should also get 3 more charges from the case itself. For my testing, I set the volume to 100%, and there I only got around 3 hour playback time with noise cancellation set to high, but turning ANC off completely, I got another 40 minutes. Honestly, I don't think that's that impressive battery life. It's certainly not all day, and obviously I am using that at 100% volume, but for me a comfortable listening experience was between 70 to 80%, so I really don't think you're going to get that much more from these earphones if you do listen at lower volumes. Thankfully, the case itself does offer quick charging, so after just 15 minutes my earbuds were back up to 60% battery. That means you don't have to wait too long to get them playing again, but with the relatively weak battery life to begin with, you won't be able to run these all day without any downtime. Wrapping up this review then, I have to say for the price of $99 on Indiegogo, Edifier's Neobuds Pro are definitely a solid option to have if you don't want to spend tons on a pair of noise cancelling Bluetooth earphones, but you still want something that is good quality. That's because they are nice and comfortable, they're easy to set up and use, and of course you do get high-res audio support. Audio quality itself as well is very solid. I do think it could just be improved with a few tweaks to the bass just to make it slightly tighter overall. In terms of downsides then, the main thing for me really is that battery life, which at just over 3 hours with ANC on, I really don't think is that good. The microphone quality does also leave room for improvement, but for me it's not as big of a drawback as the battery life. Overall though, I still would be absolutely happy to use these on the commute or around the house. Just be sure to keep the charging case with you so you can top it up as needed. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this review. So if you liked it, please toss me a thumbs up, and as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You can also subscribe if you haven't already and ding that notification bell, and why not come join us on our Discord server, especially as we're currently giving away a Sapphire RX 6700 XT. You can also check out our merch store linked in the description, and why not consider backing us on Patreon, where you can see some of our content early and get access to exclusive giveaways. Until then though guys, I'm Dominic for KitGuru, and I'll see you in the next video.